Hey, this is Marcus Washington, MTC Media, with the latest episode of 3 to 2, 3 to Make 2 podcast. We're going to talk about what adjustments Dallas needs to make for Game 3 tonight as they return back home. And it's going to start with the others, the Derrick Jones Jr.'s, the PJ Washingtons, getting them established early. Now, the old NBA axiom is, the others, the role players, play better at home. That has to be the case if Dallas wants to turn around this series. And part of this is going hand in hand with Luka Doncic, which is Luka has to establish those guys first. In games 1 and 2, Luka has established himself first and has put up these numbers. And then the numbers doesn't mean anything because in the fourth quarters, it's just Dallas has not been able to close. They haven't been able to get the contributions from the others because the others need to be established first. Also, Luka's defense, especially in game 2, was downright embarrassing. So when people scream and yell about 30-point triple-double, what does a 30-point triple-double mean when you're a turnstile on defense? And he was a turnstile on defense. It's not debatable. He was. And so one of the things to help Luka and to help the Dallas Mavericks, this is about the Dallas Mavericks trying to win an NBA Finals title. It's not about Luka trying to win a title. So get the others started first. Get Derrick Jones Jr. started first. Get PJ Washington started first. And then after that, let's get Kyrie started. Kyrie has to be able to get started. I do think that Kyrie getting out of Boston, he's going to have better numbers. He's going to play better anyway, whether he admits it or not. I think playing in Boston bothered him in games 1 and 2. I don't think going forward it will, but I do think that he just was not himself in those first 2 games. After that, then you establish Luka. And so it's just one of those things. And this is going back to the more of a early 2000s, 90s, early 2000s type of way of doing things, which is if you're the star on this great team, establish the others first. And then you get going. Because you're always going to get going. Luka's always going to get going. Luka's always going to get to the free throw line. Luka's always going to be a threat. Get those other guys going. Now, all of a sudden, he has, quote-unquote, help that he hasn't been getting. And like I said, the not getting help has been his fault. It has not been those guys' fault. That's been his fault because he has not learned, or at least in this series, he has not understood in this series to beat Boston. It's going to be more of those guys and how they feel in their confidence and their abilities to score and their abilities to make game impacting plays. His is always going to be there. So it's one of those things. Do I think that Dallas will make the adjustment? Absolutely. I do expect for Dallas to win Game 3, whether Porzingis was healthy or not. I expected Dallas to win Game 3 because I do think we're going to see a shift, and I do think Jason Kidd will continue to make adjustments. Now, the last adjustment I would make for Kidd, and maybe tonight he doesn't make this adjustment and he's fine with it. They have aggressively tried to run Boston off of the three-point line. And yes, Boston has not been efficient from the three-point line. But Boston's three-point philosophy is really not necessarily built on efficiency. It's built on numbers because of the type of players they have, because how they can stretch the floor with or without Porzingis. So my thing is I would not be as aggressive tonight running certain people off of the line. Certain people, I would kind of play them conventional because Derek Lively has not been healthy ever since whatever happened. They said it wasn't a concussion. I don't know how much truth it is to that. And Daniel Gafford has been effective in spots defensively because they've been able to pull him from the basket. So because that rim protection wasn't there like it was in the previous series, or is not as effective like it was in the previous series, I would run certain people off of the line. I wouldn't mind. I would make Jason Tatum prove that this is going to be a good three-point shooting night for him. He has not been efficient either. And part of the reason he's been inefficient, you can say, is because of how they've defended him already. But I would try to make him running 2 and 3 guys at him has opened things up for everyone else. And Tatum has been good at being impactful where people are benefiting off of him. And so, yes, you can say, look at his numbers, look at his numbers. And I'm going to tell you, look at the impact on the floor on how you're playing him. And so I would be a little bit different with Tatum. You know, I certainly would, if Horford wants to make 8 threes, he's going to have to make 8 threes. But tonight, I would not be defensively as aggressive on Boston's three-point shooters as Dallas has been in games 1 and 2. But again, I expect for Dallas to win tonight. I expect for the others to have big games tonight. I expect for Kyrie to have a big game tonight. And then Luka will have his typical, he'll have his typical numbers, which is generally big. This could be a situation where Dallas wins by double digits. If they don't make a stand tonight, though, they are going to be in a lot of trouble. Thank you for joining us for our Game 3 Dallas Mavericks adjustments here on the 3 to Make 2 podcast.